Welcome back to my kitchen. I feel like it's been forever since I've done one of these videos and I've missed you. I've missed doing them and I was craving a milkshake. And so I said to Roger, you know what? I'm just gonna do this on video. So basically all I'm doing is what's called a date and almond butter milkshake, smoothie. You can call it whatever you want to. You can also freeze it for a little bit and turn it into nice cream. But I am a terrible one to ask about the whole nice cream situation because I'm always too unwilling to wait to eat it. So I tend to just eat it as a milkshake, and then some people report back to me that they've frozen it and then it's literally hard as a rock and it's completely impossible to deal with. So I wouldn't suggest that you freeze it overnight and then try to eat it the next day unless you're gonna allow it to thaw for a whole bunch of time. I would recommend this recipe to be enjoyed right when you make it. So I hope you like it. This is for my friends who don't like banana, and all of my nice creams tend to include banana. Why? Because bananas are delicious. I'm sorry for my friends who don't agree with me. I love bananas, but really what I love about them is that they're so starchy that they create this real creamy result when you use them in a recipe, like a frozen recipe. So when you use frozen banana in an ice cream style recipe, it really turns it into creamy, dreamy deliciousness. But I do this recipe both when I do and when I don't have any frozen bananas on hand. And you can use frozen banana in this and it makes it super delicious, or you can leave it without if you don't like banana, or if you just don't have any bananas right now, it still works. So what we start with, as always, in any of my milkshake, smoothies, any of these kinds of recipes, almond milk. I did not make my own this time. This is vanilla almond milk that I bought, and we're starting with 1.5 cups. So we're gonna throw that in our blender. You definitely wanna have a high-speed blender because we're using a whole whack of ice. That's what turns it into a milkshake. And so you're really not gonna be able to make this recipe if you might be able to do it in a magic bullet, but obviously just a little bit of ice, blend it, maybe add a little more ice, blend it, see how far you can get with it. Now what I'm gonna add, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, I have been soaking, I've been soaking dates. I've chosen 3 because I am gonna be adding in some frozen banana just because we love it. But if I wasn't adding my frozen banana, I would do 4 dates. And then I soak them. I take the pit out and I soak them in warm water. And I use Medjool dates. Why? Because they're bigger, they're fatter, they're juicier, they're plumper. They often don't even really need to be soaked, but the reason I'm soaking them in hot or warm water, and it's just a few minutes, it just allows them to soften enough that when I blend them, they really become seamless in the recipe. If you want them more chunky, like little bits of caramel all the way through, you might not want to soak them at all. If they are really hard, you will want to soak them. The blender won't break them up for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the water off of these. And then I'm just gonna dump them right into my blender. So now that we've got our base, which is our vanilla almond milk, we have our dates, which is our sweetener, I am adding the frozen banana. So it's 1 frozen banana that I just break them in half and then freeze them. I'm gonna add this guy and I'm gonna break it in half another time. But again, if you hate banana, you don't have to use it. I started to mention, I don't know if I finished my thought, this is for my friend Anita, who kept saying to me, all of your nice cream recipes sound amazing, but they all have bananas and I'm allergic, or I don't like it, or I can't remember the reason. So that's why. Almond butter, roasted almond butter, it's natural, nothing else in it. The only ingredients that you wanna see are almonds and maybe salt. And I'm using a generous, we'll call it a generous 1/4 cup. And then I love this cacao powder. I know it'll be backwards for you, but this is the raw organic cacao powder by Organic Traditions. You can buy it at any health food store. The price point's pretty good, and I like it because it's raw and it maintains all of the wonderful antioxidants that we love to get from chocolate. So I love it, and I'm using 2 tablespoons. I want this to be really nice and chocolatey. If you don't use the cacao powder or cocoa powder, you're welcome to use cocoa powder. Drop it to just a tablespoon. Otherwise, it'll be too dark. But I have tried this recipe when I didn't have any cacao powder, and I have to tell you, and I did use banana, so it's the dates and the bananas and of course the almond milk, the almond butter, and it almost tasted like a Ferrero Rocher candy, and I was so excited because Roger's mom loves Ferrero Rocher candy. She doesn't eat them much, but it's kind of one of her favorite things. So I was trying to recreate without buying hazelnut butter because that is outrageously overpriced. Maybe not overpriced, just very pricey. And so I was trying to create a recipe that would mimic that flavor, and I found that without the cacao powder, it almost tastes more like a Ferrero Rocher, which is a chocolate hazelnut candy. Now, I'm telling you this, I have not eaten one of those in a long time, so I don't know for sure if that's the case, but I almost liked it without the cacao powder. So I sometimes make this recipe with the cacao, and sometimes I make it without, and if you do like this idea of a Ferrero Rocher, maybe whip up this recipe without the cacao powder, take a taste, see if you like it, and if you do want to add that chocolate flavor, go ahead and add it and then reblend it really quickly. So we've got our cacao powder in, not all of it came out, there we go. And now we've got our bananas, we've got our dates, we've got our almond butter, and we're ready to blend, except for ice. So I'm gonna start blending. I'm gonna use an entire tray. Why? Because I'm not using 2 whole frozen bananas that I normally use in my other nice creams. I need this extra ice to be able to create that creamy effect. So an entire tray, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, that's 14 ice cubes I'm throwing in. Yep. 13 ice cubes. There we go, 14. I'm gonna throw that in. It's gonna get loud for a minute. My high-speed blender, it starts really chugging with all that ice. So I might try pulsing it a bit, and somewhere in my kitchen is my tamper. I don't know where it is right now. Hang on, let me look for my tamper. Roger, any idea where you put my tamper? Roger has a habit, I found it, of putting things where they don't go. Never happens, but I just found it. Okay, so I'm gonna use my tamper a little bit, see if I can make it just a little bit creamier. Turn it up. And one thing I forgot that I'm gonna add now, a pinch of Himalayan salt. And I wanna show you what I've done. Oh good, you can see. So whenever I scrape out a vanilla pod, when I take the seeds out, then I throw my emptied vanilla pod into Himalayan salt, and I make vanilla salt. And I use this mostly in my baking, but I often use it in my cooking too. No one minds vanilla. Everyone likes vanilla. So I'm gonna add a good little pinch of Himalayan salt. And that's good. I might have gone a little longer if you weren't here with me, but probably not. It looks pretty good. The Himalayan salt, what's nice about it is salt, when you're adding it to a sweet recipe, even just a pinch, it boosts the sweetness without adding more sweetener. Now we're using dates and bananas. It's not like we're using honey or maple syrup or some kind of sugar, but still, I really like doing that. So it kind of boosts the sweetness, and we're also getting all of those trace minerals that we get when we use Himalayan salt. So I love that. As you know, I love serving my milkshakes in a measuring cup. You get 2 of these out of that recipe. So each person's getting 1.5 dates, half of a banana if you choose to use it, and a couple of tablespoon and a half if we're using a really hefty 1/4 of a cup. There are 3 tablespoons of almond butter per 1/4 cup. So we're each getting, let's say, about 2 tablespoons of almond butter. So it's got a nice little bit of protein. It's got lovely sweetness, and I won't drink it in front of you, but it is amazing. It is so tasty. I can smell it. It smells like, it kind of smells like a Wendy's Frosty, if any of us remember those. That's what it kind of smells like. Not very banana flavor, even when you use the frozen banana. Because there's only one in this recipe, it's not like it's a banana almond date smoothie. It's really a date and almond. Roger, why don't you come and taste this and tell me what your thoughts are on it. Okay, I have to take a sip. So it is a little thick for a straw, but not quite not quite thin enough to use for a straw, but then for a spoon, it's kind of too thin. So it's sort of in between, but I like to sort of use both. It's perfect. Okay, Roger, what do you think? Take a sip. I'll see if anybody had anything to say. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your tush. Are those American Eagle jeans? You crack me up, Dee. I love you so much. Roger, can you tell me?
I'll check for you.
Can you tell me the brand of my jeans, honey?
I have no idea.
Is there any kind
of... it's American Eagle.
American Eagle! Oh my gosh. Do we have the same jeans? Did you say you have the same ones? They look like mine. Yes, they are the same of yours. Roger is quality control. Yes, you are. Okay, so I think that was it. I hope this serves you. I hope you... Yes?
Quality approved.
Quality approved. Yay! Is it good?
Delicious.
What do you think when you smell it? Wait, come here. Let's get Roger in on this.
What do I think when I smell it?
When you smell it, does it, to me it smells sort of like Easter, like there's like maybe a malt, like a little bit like malted milk in a way.
You think about this much more than I do.
Oh, this is my life. I dream about this.
When I smell it?
Yeah, when you smell it. Is it kind of like...
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The malt, like those crunchy balls.
Yes, Maltesers. Does anyone remember those? So I won't tell you that it tastes like Maltesers, but I will tell you that it tastes delicious.
With essence of Malteser.
With essence of Malteser. Go and enjoy it. But what I just love about recipes like these are, they're fast. They're easy. When we're at home all together and everyone's saying, I want ice cream, I want to go and get something, I want something yummy, and I want something delicious, and the weather's starting to feel nicer, and we sort of want to do these things, and we want to treat ourselves, and I get it. And we deserve to treat ourselves. But sometimes we can think that we're treating ourselves and we're doing things that really kind of don't leave us feeling very well, and certainly don't help us to keep our immunity boosted. So what I try to do most of the time when I'm eating is I try to make sure that there's something of real value there that's going into my body that's actually going to help me improve my life. And so I'm always on the lookout for these kinds of recipes. I always like making this kind of food because for me, if it can taste delicious, and I don't have to feel any kind of negativity around it at all as far as my feelings go, and my energy and my vitality are still raised, like I still feel energized and good. I don't feel like I want to die or my stomach hurts or I'm going to lay on the couch for the rest of the night. I could still go out for a walk or do something. That's the kind of food that I want to put into my body, and those are the kinds of recipes that I absolutely love sharing with you. So thank you for joining me in my kitchen, for welcoming me to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen again. I always love being here with you. And if you have any questions or ideas or suggestions for me to make recipes that you're struggling with, or you're saying, you know, I really want this or that or the other thing, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Talk to you soon. I love you. Stay well, be safe, wash your hands, and stay away from each other just for a little longer, right? Love you guys. Bye for now.